In terms of gross revenue collected, SARS collected 2.1 trillion rands, representing 4.2% growth. Refunds increased to 414 billion rands, leaving net revenue collection at 1.74 trillion rands. Personal income tax contribution grew by 8.2%, while corporate income tax contracted by 8.9%. Structural constraints hindering economic growth are visible in the trends in revenue collected by SARS. The mining sector contribution contracted the largest as it deals with low commodity prices, logistics inefficiencies, and electricity supply challenges.
The real area of contraction that you are concerned about is CIT. Whilst we have seen good growth in sectors like the finance sector, in the electricity sector, we have seen contraction in the mining sector year on year and in the manufacturing sector. In fact, mining sector has been significant as a result of a slowdown in commodity prices, but also the implication of load shedding and challenges at the ports and the rail and generally the logistics sector.
SARS, however, says it's concerned about refund, fraud and abuse. The revenue agency says it was able to prevent the outflow of 101 billion rand of impermissible refunds.
We see more instances of individuals who register for VAT even though they are below the minimum threshold of R1 million. And very often we find different entities that register but linked to the same persona, which is a clear demonstration and fraudulent intent. We see companies that are created, bought as a shelf company, already registered for VAT, that has no intention to claim, to operate. They're there simply to claim input VAT, and after 4 or 5 months, they disappear.
Says the ban of tobacco and alcohol products during the COVID pandemic has exacerbated illicit trade and loss of revenue.
We have one huge case at the moment that involves professional enablers, institutions that ought to be respected, that are at the scene of crime, that ought to know that there's money laundering taking place, who remain silent, who simply do the minimum FIC reporting, but don't really look at the real risk that underlies the transaction that they consider to be suspicious. We find cross-border agencies operating to secure this. We find enablers within the public sector, okay? Past employees of SARS, employees within other of the law enforcement agencies.
The revenue collector says going forward it will deepen work on dealing with the illicit economy, with focus on illicit tobacco, fuel, financial flows, base erosion and profit shifting, as well as VAT fraud and other tax crimes. Gloria Stefakomosi, SABC News, Pretoria.